twice for heaven's sakes. No one's looking at a chance to make a break. But it's time to shoot the hits and sticks. I wanna sing around and get my kicks. Everybody, let's rock. Everybody in the wholesale line. Dance to the jailhouse rock. Here we go, folks. Dance to the jailhouse rock. 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 Everybody in the wholesale line. Dance to the jailhouse rock. Thank you. Oh, we're hearing a lot of singing out there. Yes, don't be shy. Feel free to sing along. We'd love for you to help us with this tune from Neil Diamond.
Neil Diamond.
Yes, here we go. Where it began, I can't begin to believe, but then I know it's going after all. Yeah. Wasn't the spring, then spring became summer. Who'd have believed you'd come along? Here we go. Touching hands, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Oh, sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. That's it. Oh, I've been inclined to believe I never would, but now I look at the night, and it don't seem so lonely. We fill it up with a warm sun. Yeah. And when I hurt runs off my shoulder, how can I hurt when holding you? Inside it's warm, it's touching warm, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Come on, sweet Caroline. Good times never seem so good. I've been inclined to believe I never would, but now it's easy to folks. Everybody. One more time. Sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. I've been inclined to believe I never would. Sweet Caroline. Thank you. Some wonderful singing going on out there. Great to meet you. It's a little Elton John tune. Forgot my crocodile section. I remember when I was young, me and Susie had so much fun. Holding hands and skimming snow. Had a go-go shack, a piece of my own, everything I ever got. most of you anyway, well, a lot of you.
Do a little old Australian tune called Waltzing Matilda. It's in the key of E flat if you want to play along.
E flat, let's see. Probably one of the most acclaimed and most popular modern piano songs ever written to piano. So you know which one I mean? No, it's a more, it's a, nearly. It's pretty good, this guy.
Lions, let's give a warm, roaring welcome for our International President, Eberhard J. Wirfs, and his wife, Margaret.
Good morning. Acting officers, members of the Board of Directors, esteemed past presidents, my fellow Lions and guests, I am pleased to call to order the second plenary session of the 93rd Convention. I hope you enjoyed our musical show by Jimmy Mann and Scott Donaldson. I have the impression, step by step, we are on our way to become a concert hall. Weren't they good? I think so, yes, very well. We Lions like to serve, and we like to have fun, too, while we serve. Both are very important, very important. In Germany, we call that Gemütlichkeit, what you cannot translate, but you can feel it. So when you feel very happy, gathered with friends, this is Gemütlichkeit. So let's have some fun while we are here this morning, and certainly the rest of the week too. Let's get started today on an appropriate note with the invocation. I call upon past District Governor Detlef Ehrenbruch from Wuppertal, Germany.
Thank you, Eberhard. Good morning, distinguished guests. Good morning, fellow Lions. Good morning, Leos. Is there a Leo in the room? Yeah, there must be one. After this rocking start, let us pause for a moment to reflect as we enter the second plenary session of our gathering here in Sydney. As Lions, we are generally blessed with lives of relative luxury and opportunities unknown to many. Let us open the registers of our life with honesty as we consider our priorities and our opportunities to help others. Let us open our hearts and indeed our checkbooks to those in need while we still gratefully enjoy the fruits of our own labors. Let us share not only our tangible wealth, but also our intangible riches of knowledge, leadership, and creativity to make our community, our nation, and our world a better place. And let us be patient and persistent if not everything we start comes to fruition right away. The great Mahatma Gandhi once reminded us that it is the action, not the fruit of the action, that is important. We have to do the right thing. It may not be in our power, and it may not be in our time, that there will be any fruit. But that doesn't mean we should stop doing the right thing. We never know what results come from our actions, but if we do nothing, there will be no result. Doing right is often terribly difficult. For instance, when we find that we must take a stand that makes us unpopular, or when we realize that we owe an apology. May we leave this convention hall today motivated to right another wrong in this world, no matter how large or how small the required action may be. Please, Lord of the universe, help us so to serve. Amen and Namaste.
Thank you, Past District Governor Allenbo, for those inspiring words. I would like now to recognize a woman who once again is providing signing service at our convention for the deaf and the hearing impaired. Please join me in showing our appreciation to Lion Idi Miskel. Dear Lions, the Lions Humanitarian Award is awarded by the International President to a person of substantial humanitarian accomplishment. The award includes a $200,000 grant continuing humanitarian activities. I now have the great pleasure to introduce to you a great humanitarian. I was privileged to spend some time with her in Africa this year, and we planted some trees together. Moved to grow, indeed. She is a remarkable woman with a great spirit and energy and a great heart. We will take advantage of our wonderful big screen to let you meet her.
An internationally recognized environmental activist, Wangari Maathai is a longtime crusader for democracy and human rights, especially those for women. In 2004, Maathai was named the Nobel Peace Prize winner for her contributions to sustainable development, democracy, and peace. Recognizing at an early age the deforestation in her rural Kenya and its devastating environmental, economic, and social impact, Maathai founded the Green Belt Movement, a grassroots organization created to reduce poverty and protect the environment. This organization, advocating the planting of trees as opposed to the clearing of forests, was quickly recognized worldwide for the positive changes it created for the people and forests of Kenya. Since Earth Day in 1977, when Maathai planted 7 trees to honor Kenyan women environmental leaders, her movement has helped women plant more than 40 million trees on community lands and farms. This work has done much more than just improve the global environment. The 40 million trees planted by these women have provided fuel, shelter, and income, and improved their social and economic position in their families and communities. Today, the Green Belt movement has become linked with global efforts to extend democracy and foster peace. In 2002, Maathai was a leading activist in a successful movement to use peaceful means to bring democracy back to Kenya. That same year, she was elected to the Kenyan Parliament, where she served through 2007. In 2009, Maathai was appointed a messenger of peace by the United Nations, a world-changing environmentalist. a human rights activist, and a proponent of global peace, with a legacy stretching throughout Kenya and the world. Wangari Maathai recognizes the special responsibility we all have to our planet and to each other. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pride that Lions Clubs International welcomes the winner of the 2004 Nobel Peace Prize and this year's recipient of the Lions Humanitarian Award, Wangari Maathai.
I would like to invite Al Brandel, our immediate past international president, and the chairperson of Lions Clubs International Foundation, first vice president Sid Scruggs, second vice president Dr. Wing Hong Tam, to present the 2010 Lions Clubs International Award with me. Please come forward. Mr. Maathai, Mrs. Maathai, this is the famous line as a product of Lanique to show who we are and what we do. I would like to hand it to you. I know you know this element of your country. There are many more dangerous than that. Please, take our congratulations with this life. Thank you. For a moment, and please, will you please favor us with a few remarks?
Okay. Thank you very much. You're very kind. The international president of the Lions of the World, Mr. Ebert Wills, the Lions of the World, honored guests, allow me to express my profound gratitude for having been invited here by the President and having been allowed to come and spend most of the time here with you Lions. I have really been overwhelmed by the expanse of the work that you do, of the extent of the service that you give. And I feel really challenged. I am extremely grateful for this opportunity, and thank you for the invitation, for the facilitation, for the support. I'm also extremely humbled by this Lions Humanitarian Award, and equally by the enormous financial gift that accompanies this award. And it will go a long way in supporting the work of the Green Belt movement, which I want to describe very quickly to you so that you have an idea of what you are supporting. In many ways, it's what the President was describing yesterday. I was expressing this morning to Christopher that I was amazed that in about 3 hours here, we were able to cover so much, and the President was able to go through it. He knew every bit of the work, every corner of where that work is being done. And when he was in Nairobi, I thought that's the only place he had been because he was committed so much to what we were doing in Nairobi and Kenya in general. But obviously he has been all over the world. And he didn't look one little bit tired, so he can carry on. I will not go into the details of our work. We have been working in this area for about 3 decades, but I have described this work in 2 books that were recently published, Unbound and The Challenge for Africa, and some of you, I'm sure, have come across them. But very quickly, the movement, as shown in the clip, was started in 1977 to respond to felt needs of women from the rural areas who were preparing to go to Mexico to the very first United Nations Conference on Women. And as they spoke, they said that what they really needed was energy, which was in the form of wood fuel. They needed clean drinking water. They needed food, and they needed income. Because my background is biological sciences, I guess, I quickly recognized that the environment they were talking about is an environment I knew as a child, but which had changed dramatically to the extent that it was no longer being able to sustain their livelihoods. And so I thought that the thing that we should do is to mobilize them so that we could address the issues that have come to the fore. Once the soil is laid bare, it is easily washed away and degradation becomes entrenched. I'm trying to follow up on some of the slides that are being projected there, and maybe I can just look at them and talk to them. I hope they are following up, because I don't always follow what I have actually written. But what you have seen is that what usually happens is that the forests are encroached upon. People go into the forest, they want to expand agricultural activities, they want fertile land, they want where there is water, and they move into the forest. And they burn the forest, sometimes for that agricultural land, but also sometimes because they want to settle in those forests. And this has been one of the greatest campaigns that we have had in the country. Unfortunately, as they do that, they degrade the land. They degrade the forests. And so we lose the topsoil, which is the most wonderful topsoil for agriculture. The volume of water also goes down because there is not the vegetation to tap the rainwater. And so eventually women have to go long distances looking for water. And that is something that you have heard about many times. And in many ways, the more you destroy your environment, and this is a link that so many of us do not make. The more you destroy the environment, the more you undermine your own survival. Because the environment is what supports us. But because the environment has been there since time immemorial, we have learned to take many of the services we get from the environment for granted. And we have an attitude that these resources are limitless. Well, we now know that there is a limit. And it was the Club of Rome that you remember in the 70s wrote a book that became a classic where they said that there is limit to growth. You can only take so much from the environment before the environment is unable to give back. And so we find that people who destroy the environment eventually get trapped in a vicious cycle of poverty and underdevelopment. And that is what the Greenbelt movement set out to break, that cycle. And so it mobilized women. We went to the women because we were working from the National Council of Women of Kenya, but also because in our part of the world, it was the women who worked on the land. And so we felt that if we went to the men, we would have wasted a lot of time and energy. So we mobilized the women. But if you look at the pictures, you can see that now there are some men who come to our meetings, which is a very nice development. Eventually the men did realize that this is also very important for them. And so they do come, although many of them come for economic reasons. They can get jobs that are created, and they can also improve their land, and they can, in about 20, 30 years, they will be able to sell that timber. But I don't care what they come for, as long as they come and they do the work. Now, so we mobilize the women. They learn how to look for seeds, how to develop tree nurseries, how to nurture these tree seedlings, how to plant them, and how to make them survive. And that's a very, very important part of the campaign. You can plant millions of trees, but if you don't take care of them, they could all die. And this is something that even the major United Nations development agencies know about. You have to stay with the tree. They are like children. You cannot give birth and then abandon. You have to take care of them until they are ready to take care of themselves. That takes time, it takes patience, and also it takes finances, because we have to engage people who actually make sure that those trees are taken care of for at least 2 to 3 years. Then we also teach women, once they are successful in the tree planting, we teach them to do other things. For example, to harvest rainwater. Thank you very much. And rainwater is extremely important because in many places where the land has been degraded, there is no water. That's the irony, that you destroy when you destroy the environment, when you destroy vegetation, when you destroy forest, then the water disappears. And everybody wants to say, I don't have any water. Of course you don't have water. You destroyed the environment. You destroyed the forest. There is a cycle, which if you break, then you are lost in the desert. And in the desert, there is no water. So you get trapped in a vicious cycle. So we train them how to harvest rainwater, because thank God, the rains do come. So they harvest sometimes in dams, sometimes in trenches, sometimes in holes. Just make sure that as much of that God-given rain, when it comes, you harvest the water. Now we have developed a 10-step procedure. We start with mobilizing, and eventually when the women leave, it's about 10 steps. And this is important because you are dealing with a relatively unsophisticated community, many people who do not read or write, and so you have to say, step 1, mobilize, okay? And they mobilize, and they get together, and they form groups. Step 2, register, and it goes on like that until they sing it, and it makes it easy, and it also makes it easy for us to monitor. And monitoring is an extremely important part of the program. Sometimes it is very expensive, but it is extremely important because it is not just a matter of planting trees, it's also a matter of empowering people and making them understand that if we really want to develop ourselves, if we really want to move forward, we must embrace some of the best values that I know that the Lions have. The values of honesty, the values of integrity, the values of accountability, and the values of responsibility. These are very, very important values in any community that wants to go forward. Now, as we know, Africa usually is presented as a very poor continent. But Africa is not a poor continent. As we all know, it is endowed with a huge amount of people, many resources, including oil, minerals, forests. It is a very, very rich continent. And in many ways, that is her curse, that she is so rich, but her people have been unable to utilize these resources for themselves to improve their quality of life. So we continue to fight over these resources, sometimes actually to facilitate other people to come and extract these resources. And so I talk about these issues in the Challenge for Africa and say that what we really need in Africa is good leadership, because people are poor. And if you look at that map, of course it's very far, but the red, the different shades of red and pink indicate areas where people make less than $1 per day. And so you can see practically the whole continent, especially south of the Sahara, except in South Africa and large part of North Africa. The rest of the continent, the people are extremely poor. So there is an irony in Africa that we need to address. You can't have such a rich continent and have very poor people. Something is drastically wrong. And the reason is, as I said, address this. It's not a simple issue. It's a very complex issue. It deals with history, it deals with technology, it deals with knowledge, it deals with a lot of issues. But the basic and the most fundamental principle is the principle of good governance. I haven't come across any other reason why Africa is still struggling. It's because she has been unable to raise leaders who will work for them rather than prey on them. And so in our work and in our trying to empower our people, it's not just a matter of taking care of the environment, it's also addressing the issues of good governance, respect for human rights, inclusivity, holding leaders accountable. And we all know leaders anywhere in the world, if they are left alone to do their own thing, they will get away with murder. What it takes is a strong citizenry, strong systems of good governance, institutions that hold leaders accountable. Fortunately, there has been a movement in Africa, and we are seeing a lot of changes. We are seeing many countries that are rewriting their own constitution. Right now, in fact, Kenya is in the middle of rewriting the constitution in order to ensure that resources are managed more responsibly, more accountably, that they are shared more equitably, so that you don't have about 10 people who are filthy rich and 10 million who are filthy poor. Now, one of the issues that I would like very much to support with the gift that the Lions have given is a new initiative that we have established with the University of Nairobi. And I can't talk about it much, but I would be very happy to expound on it. But we have found that the ethos, the philosophy, the conviction, the fact that societies needed to develop the kind of commitment to service that we have seen here in the Lions, and which is completely important in communities, that it should be inculcated in students when they are still in school, because these are the educated people, these are the people who will eventually become the decision makers, these are the people who should have these values in them. And the teaching for these values is completely missing in our institutions of higher learning, even in our primary and secondary. But at least if you catch them at the top, since you can't catch them all at the primary and secondary, at least if you can catch a few, you can change. Because I tell people, I would not be who I am if I did not have the privilege of going to America and getting education when my country could not offer me that education. And when I went back, fortunately, because of the values that I had gotten, I was able to say, I want to serve. And I started this movement largely because I thought that I could make a change. Of course, now, decades later, and the old age has caught up with me. Now I realize that you can't change much. why the commitment, like we were saying yesterday, I was very impressed by the young man who spoke yesterday about the need for the Rios. We need to invest in the future. And so we feel in the Green Belt movement that the University of Nairobi, at least starting with the University of Nairobi, which is my alma mater, we can establish an institute. And the university wanted to call it the Wangari Maathai Institute, which is a great honor for me. And we want to make this an institute where students will go through and learn the value of service. And I keep telling people, I have any great people we have ever heard of, whether they were the saints that are old saints after whom we call ourselves, or the more recent saints like the Mahatma Gandhis, we mentioned him this morning, or the Mother Teresa's of this world, or the Martin Luthers, or even great people like Kennedy who were responsible for me going to America, and hundreds of others, including, by the way, I'm sure you know, you Americans, the father of the current president of the United States of America, President Obama. He went to the US in the same plane, not the same plane, but the same group of planes that took over 300 students from East Africa to America in the 60s. And just see what has happened in the 3 decades, amazing things. But I wanted to say that there are many things we can do, but I think that the most important thing is we must invest in the future. We must make sure that the work continues. And so this work with the University of Nairobi is, for me, very, very important, and some of the gift money would definitely go there. Now, I now want to say very quickly, I know my time is over almost, very, very quickly share with you some of the other global campaigns that we are involved in, because I'm almost sure many of you are involved in those campaigns, and I would like to share with you. One of them is the campaign to protect forests, not only the forests in Kenya, but the forests in the world. And in 2005, the heads of states, 10 heads of states in Central African region asked me to be goodwill ambassador for the Congo forest. Now the Congo forest, the Amazon forest, and the Southeast Asian forest in Indonesia, Borneo, Malaysia, these forests are referred to in the world as the 3 lungs of the planet. These are the forests that take carbon dioxide and give us oxygen in a balance that makes life sustainable on this planet. Without them, we all would be in danger. We need to protect forests, but especially these 3 major blocks of tropical forest. And with the governments, when they met in Copenhagen in December, they agreed and they created a project which is called RED+. Now, I have been pursuing governments, they've committed, but nobody's putting money on the table. So if you know of any governments, your governments, that should really support the work of global warming or climate change, no matter what people are saying, I can only respond to what I'm seeing around me, rivers drying up and snow disappearing from the mountains. We need to protect forests. 20% of the greenhouse gases that is partly responsible for global warming is coming from deforestation, especially in developing countries. We need to stop that. And in that connection, I actually want to thank the British government and the Norwegian government. Both of them gave $100 million each to establish a fund towards this effort. And we established a fund called Congo Forest Fund. And the fund is based in Tunisia, in the African Development Bank. And we hope that we'll get more support to protect this forest. And I keep telling Africa that Africa without a Congo forest will be Africa with one big desert, because we have the northern desert, the Sahara Desert, and we have the southwest desert, the Kalahari Desert. Those deserts will one day meet unless Africa wakes up and protects the Congo forest. campaign, global campaign that we are involved in is actually a campaign that we started in Japan. It's called Motainai campaign. And the Motainai is a traditional Japanese concept which encapsulates the concept of reuse, reduce, recycle. But one reason why I liked this concept of Motainai is that it also incorporates the concept of be grateful, pay respect. And I thought that the combination of reuse, reduce, recycle, respect, be grateful is so wonderful. And I think that that's the kind of values that we really need to pass to the rest of the world. So this campaign has been very successful in Japan, and I would really like to see it spreading all over the world so that we can cut down on the waste. We can cut down on the waste and we can reduce the amount of resources we are using. And in Japan, there has been a very big campaign of recycling. And I just want to share with you, the Japanese people traditionally, when they would tie the gifts, they would not use paper. Now they are doing that. That's why this campaign is very important even for them. They're using paper, and paper means trees. So that's how the Congo forest disappears. In Japan, because they have the technology, and that is the beauty of the advanced countries, they have huge technologies that can make us really make a lot of change. They were able to make recycled goods from recycled materials that I could not believe. And the packaging material in Japan is furoshiki. Now I want to show you a furoshiki from recycled plastic. From recycled plastic that you find in the dump sites. So using technology, it is quite possible for us to reduce, reuse, and recycle. And in the process, respect and be grateful. The next campaign is the Billion Tree campaign that I'm sure some of you may have heard about. We do this with the United Nations Environment Program, is to encourage people to plant trees. And because the president is involved in his great campaign of planting ginkgos, I think all the lions and especially the Rios should be part of the Billion Tree campaign. Just go to United Nations website and you register with the campaign. It's called Plant for the Planet. And it would be wonderful to put the ginkgo trees as part of the Billion Tree campaign. And the final campaign that I want to that's really the last of the several campaigns. No, the last one is actually a campaign that the United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon has asked me to champion, and that is to champion the issue of climate, the issue of environment, and the issue of the Millennium Development Goals. Now you know the Millennium Development Goals, there are 8 of them. The last one, although they were not arranged in order of importance, is the environment. And I really think that since the Lions are so committed to service and so committed to helping communities, in my opinion, I always say that if you took care of the Millennium Development Goals number 7, I told the United Nations Secretary General, all the others will take care of themselves, take care of the environment, and most other issues, poverty, education, they will take care of themselves. You can't have health if you don't have water. You can't have water if you don't have forest. So start with the number 7, I told them, and go backwards. I want to say that in seeking how we can empower people, I want to share with you a story in the Bible that I like to tell because it encourages me in the way that the people we serve are usually people who are vulnerable, people who are poor, people who are in need. But this story in the Bible helps me challenge myself so that we do not only give material things, but we also empower them so that they can take care of themselves. And those of you who read the Bible are familiar with the story in Acts chapter 3 of Peter and John. Now, Peter and John are these two disciples of Jesus Christ who are going to the synagogue for prayer, and they are confronted by a beggar. And the beggar, as usual, is spreading his hands out for handouts. And Peter and John comes to him, and they look at him, and they see that he's a cripple. He has actually been a cripple since birth. Now, instead of thinking of going into their pockets for coins, Peter and John decide they want to empower this cripple. They want to give him freedom. They want to give him strength. They want to give him self-respect and dignity. And so Peter goes up to him and he says, "Look up." And I'm sure the beggar was a little bit startled because people don't usually talk to beggars. They give them what they are looking for and keep going. But Peter said, "Look up." And the beggar looked up, and Peter said, "Silver and gold we have none, but what we have we will give you." And I'm sure the beggar was hoping he will get a big prize like the humanitarian award. But Peter and John said, "We do not have silver and gold, but what we have we will give you. In the name of Jesus of Nazareth," he spread his hand. "In the name of Jesus of Nazareth, rise up and walk." And the cripple, to his surprise, as Peter spread out his hand, the cripple felt his limbs strengthen. He felt strong. He started rising up. And the Bible says he stood up. And he was no longer a cripple. He was healed. He was liberated. And the Bible says he walked into the synagogue, praising the Lord. He was empowered. And I think that is the kind of empowerment that sometimes we are looking for. We want to give to our people. Because sometimes we feel we can't forever give aid. We can't forever give handouts. We can't forever give charity. And so we must get involved in some of the political and economic policies that are responsible for the poverty and the misery that we see in the world. And I know it is not easy. It's much easier to give charity than to worry about the politics and the economic policies. But sometimes those of us who are in positions to raise their voices, even though at their own risk, we need to, because that's the only way sometimes that we can break that cycle and make sure that these people are freed, are liberated from the chains of economic and political subjugation. Now, you can be overwhelmed. And especially the lions who are here, don't get overwhelmed. But even some lions may be overwhelmed. So it is very important to tell you, do not feel overwhelmed. Sometimes when I feel very discouraged, I remember a little story that I had. I understand this story came from Latin America. It's about the story of a hummingbird, and I'll close with that story. The story of a hummingbird. Maybe I should tell the story of a hummingbird. Should I tell the story of the hummingbird? I know my time is over. But the story of a hummingbird is the story of encouragement. This is a story where one forest went on fire. A huge bonfire was burning in the forest. And all the animals were scared and they came to the edge of the forest. And they were watching the forest burn, except this little hummingbird. So they have the hummingbird here. And the hummingbird said, "I'm going to do something about the forest." And so the hummingbird flew to the nearest stream, brought one drop of water and put it on the fire and back, came back with another drop of water, put it on fire, and it kept going up and down, every time bringing a drop of water and believing that this one drop of water might make the difference. And it kept going, and the animals kept telling us, what are you trying to do? You can't make any difference. This fire is too big, you're too small, your beak is too small. Some of these animals were the elephants, and they have big beaks, and they were doing nothing with the beaks. But the little bird kept going up and down, bringing a drop of water. And every time believing, this one might make the difference. And as it continued to be harassed by the other animals, what do you think you are doing? The hummingbird turned back as I closed and said, I'm doing the best I can. And that's all we can do.
Thank you, Professor Matai. You are really a great champion of environment, sustainable development, and democracy. And you showed that with passion and giving your time. I thank you for that. Our humanitarian award comes with a check of $200,000 for all your thoughts and the ideas you want to realize in the future. Let's move it forward. Come on. Because of all the work you do, you are, I think, as we feel here, gathered this morning, you are a lion of spirit in our spirit. Is that true? Do you believe that? And that's why we met with the King countries in Nairobi with a couple of discussions with the government. I personally would like to be a lion in reality. My question is, since you have expressed some thoughts in this direction, a desire to affiliate with the Lions, I now ask you to repeat, if you want to become a Lion, here and now, our oath. Will you do that? Louder.
I want to become a lion.
Hey! Please repeat my word. I do hereby accept membership. I do hereby accept membership.
I do here accept membership
In the Lions Club.
in the Lions Club,
Knowing that such membership
knowing that such membership
encouraged me
encouraged me
to participate in functions of the club
to participate in the functions of the club
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
I will abide
I will abide
by the Lions Code of Ethics
by the Lions Code of Ethics
and contribute my share
and contribute my share
to the progress of my club,
to the programs of my club,
district, and Lions Club International.
and Lions
Club International.
Lions Club International.
Wangari, you are now officially a member of the Lions, and I, your sponsor, will now present to you the Lions emblem pin which signifies membership.
Thank you.
one more. Sorry. I was so impressed. First of all, congratulations to your membership. We're looking forward to work with you very intensely next time in recognizing the continent of Africa. But in recognition of your contribution to our community and country, we're about to present the Melvin Jones Fellowship to you from the Lions Club. The fellowship is a recognition of commitment to humanitarian service, and it recognizes those humanitarian qualities of generosity, of compassion, and concern for others. The Melvin Jones Fellowship is LCF's highest honor, and it's named Melvin Jones, the founder of Lions International. Thank you again for all you have done. Thank you all for your warm welcome of Matari. What's the best part of being a President International? Meeting lions from all over the world and seeing the difference they make is certainly at the top of my list. But it's also a wonderful part of being President is becoming chairperson of Lions Club International Foundation in the coming year. LCF is one of the very best things about Lions. We pool the resources of Lions to tackle large-scale social problems and to respond to natural disaster. After a very brief video on LCF, here to tell you more about our foundation is the Lion who has led our foundation for the past year. He has a gift for getting things done and for motivating Lions to new levels of service. Miracles of service are his calling card. After this short video, please warmly greet with me past Senior President Albert Dell for his presentation.
You see them in every corner of the globe. Men, women, and children rolling up their sleeves, extending a hand, and improving lives. But under each brick, beneath each drop of water, and behind every smile, is Lions Club's International Foundation, the cornerstone of Lions' goodwill, and unprecedented achievements in sight, disaster relief, education, and numerous global humanitarian efforts.
Lions Club International Foundation is one of the best humanitarian funds around the world.
I really admire the humanitarian act of LCIF.
I'm just thankful to LCIF.
Lions, please warmly welcome past International President Al Randell.
Lions are making a significant impact in so many lives through our foundation in the areas of sight, youth, disability, and disaster. I'd like to give you an update on our and your accomplishments over the past year and the future plans of LCIF. We are still the #1 non-governmental organization worldwide this year. This year we were awarded 4 stars, the highest rating a charity navigator and independent charity evaluator can award. 4 stars. Sight First has prevented vision loss for 30 million people. And we saved the sight of hundreds of thousands of more. We're having a significant impact in people's lives. One example, river blindness, where we have halted its spread in Ecuador, and we will end its transmission in South America by 2012. We've done this in partnership with a very good friend of ours, past District Governor Jimmy Carter, and the Carter Center. Great partnership. Also this year, Sight First China Action celebrated 10 years of service and has saved sight through 5 million cataract surgeries in China alone. Another important program is Lion's Quest. This year we are celebrating 25 years of service. This program has added 3 countries this past year and now totals 60 countries. Bank of America awarded Lion's Quest its first corporate grant to expand the program in the Chicago school districts. Please stand if your district has benefited from an LCIF grant this past year, while I highlight how our humanitarian programs continue to help support initiatives that our Lions care about most. Anybody here have an LCIF grant this year? Please stand. Wow. Please remain standing. This is phenomenal. Please stand while I speak about you for a second. Globally, we equip eye clinics, give access to clean water, provide homes for street children and orphans, and train leader dogs. Let's give you all a round of applause for the service that you've given. Okay, please be comfortable again. In the last year, LCIF has awarded 370 grants totaling $23 million. Lions are also helping victims in their communities following disasters. This year, LCIF awarded $1.3 million for disaster relief, and Lions have played an integral role in helping their communities recover from earthquakes in Chile and China, flooding in Taiwan and Tennessee, and massive earthquakes in Haiti. You gave generously to help these communities, including $5 million for Haiti. I'd like to show you a video on our efforts in Haiti, please.
Everything was shaking. Everybody was confused.
It was a huge scream, something unbelievable. It was the whole town screaming.
Most of my friends are gone, and most of my neighbors are gone too. We lost 3 lives.
We don't have a problem of doctors right now. We have a problem of medication.
90% of the construction are destroyed. But it is a very, very hard situation. It's really sad. But as a matter of fact, we have to help. It's our goal, no matter what. And it's part of life.
When they see the Lions logo, they're going to see food, water, and medicine coming.
Now we're going to get ready to give them to the other people that are really in need.
There are a lot of people sleeping in the streets.
We expect to have 3,000 tents.
LCIF funds, we hope to rebuild some building to give you some school.
Joining me on stage, the Lions from Haiti, International Director of Domingo Roman, from Puerto Rico, past International Director Carlos Luciano. Please give them a round of applause. This is William Eliason. William, remember when we first met you on our first trip from the Dominican Republic into Haiti, and you were confused, you were frustrated, you were anxious, and you were scared about the future of your country. And I told you at that time that not to be scared, that you have 1.35 million brothers and sisters that are going to be for you there today and tomorrow to help you. These are your friends, William. These are your friends. William, I'd like you to share your account, please, with your friends. Please take the podium, William. William Eliason, Zone Chairman, is heading up our Haiti Relief Program.
Dear President Wills, dear President Brandel, dear officials, dear brothers and sister lands from all over the world, I will start both as a Haitian and a Lion by expressing my extreme gratitude and deep thanks to the Lions from all over the world for their spontaneous, tremendous, and efficient response to the disaster that hit Haiti, my country, this past January 12. President Brandel and his beloved wife, Maureen, was in Haiti. They gave the example by being with us since the first day of the catastrophe. Thank you, President Brandel. So was PID Carlos Justiniano, who came in Haiti 6 times since after January 12. Thank you, Carlos. Never before the international community has mobilized that level of resources for Haiti. Never before the Haitians have encountered this level of solidarity. This January 12, 2010 disaster was evaluated by the international community as the largest catastrophe that humanity had to face in the last past 50 years. Beyond the disaster, the ruins and the catastrophe, beyond the suffering and the enormity of the task, I think there is a real opportunity and a responsibility for the Lions to make history through relevant, structured, and sustainable efforts. The Haitian Lions were present in the emergency phase. We have supplied water, food, medicine. We were present in the post-disaster phase, where we have supplied more than 400 tons. Let me express now my special thanks to the Swedish Lions that sent us these stamps. the Haitian lions are now in the reconstruction phase. A better future for Haiti can be achieved thanks to the contribution of the lions. With the solidarity of the lions all over the world, we will be able to implement feasible, rational, and efficient projects for the future of the people of Haiti. This project will be implemented through the creation of new Young Lions Club in Haiti. I have to announce you that presently we are in preparation 6 new clubs for the following months. And for the month of July, upon my return from Sydney, I will charter in 2 new clubs in Gonaïve and in Cabaret. Not to abuse your patience, I will again, on behalf of the Haitian people, on behalf of the Haitian delegation, I will again express my sincere gratitude for this extraordinary example of solidarity given to us by the Lions from all over the world. God bless you all. Thanks to all of you. Thank you so much. It is so great to be a lion.
Haiti is one example. We're working with other organizations to further and leverage our resources. This year we're working hard to expand existing partnerships and develop new ones. This has resulted in funding from our 4 new organizations for over $3 million. Okay, thank you. Thank you. How about that? 6 new Lions clubs in Haiti. From the ashes comes the Lions. Some examples of these new partnerships include Bosch and Lam, which you heard about yesterday. The Clinton Global Initiative, which was our first venture with them, and we were very successful in having former President Clinton of the United States support us in our efforts in Peru to do 7,000 cataracts. The Gates Foundation. First time the Gates Foundation has supported one of our efforts, and they are donating and working with us for $400,000 for a measles initiative in Africa. Nor Dubai has donated $1.18 million for river blindness treatments for 5 million people in 4 countries in Africa. Essilor, which is the world's largest eyeglass manufacturer of quality eyeglasses, we entered in a memorandum of understanding where they are going to put us in the business of making our own Lions eyeglass for people throughout the world. And where other NGOs need eyeglasses, they're going to come to us and buy the Lions lens. We are continuing to build existing partnerships. An example of a long-lasting partnership is Sight for Kids, a partnership with Johnson & Johnson that has screened 10 million children in Asia. Johnson & Johnson has committed more than $1.6 million during our 8-year partnership. I would now like to share with you a video that highlights this partnership.
In Asia, nearly half of the children who need glasses don't have them.
To combat this problem, Lions Clubs International Foundation and Johnson & Johnson launched Sight for Kids. In the preschool years, a child develops hand-eye coordination and the visual motor skills needed to learn to read and write.
If we can detect vision problems early, we can treat or even cure them.
Through Sight for Kids, thousands of Lions and hundreds of Johnson & Johnson volunteers organize and participate in community-based and school-based screenings.
The partnership between Johnson & Johnson Vision Care and the Lions Club is so important. We have the same shared vision, and together, we are making a difference.
Educating children and their parents about eye care and eye health is an important part of the Sight for Kids program.
What really makes the Sight for Kids program work so well in so many different countries is the collective efforts of remarkably generous Lions who volunteer their time and resources with such great enthusiasm. You are the real champions in the fight against a child's loss of vision.
In the Philippines, more than 12,000 children have received the glasses they need.
As an ophthalmologist, I meet many patients who are very poor.
I'm jobless. I can afford to buy eyeglasses.
When this program came up, I was very happy because we could serve the poor people of our community.
I use my glasses to see.
According to the Department of Education, those children receiving free eyeglasses, it really improves their performance in school.
I can read now.
Because of the Sight for Kids program, local Lions are able to screen and provide glasses to more children than they could on their own.
You see the happy face, the happy reaction of them, and that is a very good fulfillment for us.
That's my boy!
Please welcome Regional General Manager of Johnson & Johnson, Simon Cosgrove.
Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, thank you to the Lions Club for inviting me today. It truly is a great honour and a privilege, and for me personally this is a very humbling experience to address you on behalf of Johnson & Johnson. Our partnership with Lions Club goes back 8 years now. 8 years ago we were looking to develop a humanitarian programme that could reach out to the underprivileged children in the Asia Pacific region. We recognised that we needed a strong partner in order to make this happen. One that shared the same vision, passion and values as Johnson & Johnson. And with your strong presence in the region, the Lions Club was an ideal choice. And so in 2002, the Sight for Kids collaboration in Asia Pacific was born. Sight for Kids screens children throughout the region and has helped tackle cases such as nearsightedness, farsightedness and astigmatism. Cases which, if remain undetected, could cause significant vision loss for those children. And last year was a special year where we celebrated a significant milestone. As you've heard, we screened our 10 millionth child. And to date, we believe we've screened almost 12 million children. We are very proud of the progress that we have achieved. It's been a huge success by any measure. However, this would not be possible without you, the army of Lions Club volunteers that make this all happen. So I'd just like to say thank you. Of those 12 million children we've screened, almost 400,000 have been evaluated further. 120,000 have received spectacles, and over 60,000 have been treated for other eye conditions. Sight for Kids has also trained a further 85,000 teachers and volunteers, as well as we have distributed 3.8 million education packs in our joint efforts to promote healthy vision. During this time, Sight for Kids has maintained the focus on underprivileged children, those who have least, or can least afford, or have access, or can't have access to this kind of program. At Johnson & Johnson, we have a long and proud history of social responsibility. And as is embodied in our credo, we firmly believe in supporting the communities in which we live and in which we work. And these are values I know that we share with the Lions Club, which is why we are fully committed to our continued support of this Sight for Kids program, which, have you heard already, has donated $1.6 million in donations and pledges. So, at Johnson & Johnson, we are honoured to partner with the Lions Club. And we recognise that at the heart of this and all of the other programmes that you run lay you, the volunteers. So once again, on behalf of Johnson & Johnson, I would like to thank all the volunteers. You have been truly monumental and instrumental to the success of Sight for Kids. So I thank you. And finally, I would like to present the Lions Club with a cheque for $200,000 from Johnson & Johnson.
Accept this on behalf of the foundation, but more importantly, about all the children that we're going to have a positive effect on for years to come. Please don't go anywhere. It's Christmas too. We're going to give you something. I'd like to present you with our Corporate Partnership Award for Johnson & Johnson. We are most appreciative of your continued commitment to the Sight for Kids program and looking forward to many, many more years of collaboration. Please accept this recognition of your assistance. This is just one example of how our partnerships are changing millions of lives. I'd like to introduce you to Kate Simmons to talk to you about how Opening Eyes program, a partnership with Special Olympics, has helped her. Please welcome Kate.
My name is Kate Simmons. I am 16 years old. I have been a Olympic athlete for 5 years. I love to do tennis instrument. In special age, I like to do swimming games. I won 1 gold medal, 2 silver medals, and 1 bronze medal. He was very shy. At my eye, says it are some nice people. I got some new classes. Since I have new classes for many hours improved, I can for much better. Thank you much for the vision of this Open Eyes program.
Hi, I'm Kate's proud dad. Let me share with you why the Opening Eyes program has been important to our family. We thought we had Kate's sight under control. We live in a good area of Sydney and Kate has always been to well-respected eye specialists. So imagine our amazement when through the Opening Eyes program we discovered that Kate had the wrong prescription. She was in fact long-sighted, not short-sighted as prescribed. You can imagine the impact that's had on Kate's development with that change. And it was the patience and training of Susan Walton and her Opening Eyes team that made the difference. Now, Kate is just one Special Olympics athlete who has benefited from the Opening Eyes program, but there are thousands like Kate who need your help. So thanks, Lions, for the wonderful service you provide, and please keep up the great work.
This partnership with Special Olympics is also triggering another positive outcome with the formation of new Lions clubs focusing support on Special Olympics. I believe so far with the past year and a half, 10 new Lions Club focused on Special Olympics. People with passion. I encourage all convention attendees to witness these partnerships in action this afternoon when we will screen nearly 100 Special Olympic athletes. This is just one example of how our foundation has been able to grow this year. Many individual clubs and districts and organizations played a part in this effort. In particular, I'd like to recognize a special group standing here on the stage, or coming on the stage, with me, who have served as both LCIF Development Committee, which has certainly helped to bring our foundation to new heights, and a Governance Steering Committee members who have helped bring our foundation to a new governance situation, which will pay dividends for us years in the future. I'd like to recognize these people as past President Frank Moore, Judge Brian Stevenson, Augustine Saliba, Kai Suk Lee, the $200 million man, Mahendra Avasaroriya, and Barry Palmer. These people have worked tirelessly on your behalf for many, many years. I have presented them with the LCIF Friend of Humanity Award to recognize their role in helping us grow our international foundation, one of the highest recognitions and very rarely given. Let's give them all a round of applause and our thanks. LCIF relies largely on Lions support to be able to continue to fund so many worthwhile projects. I'd like to take this opportunity right now to thank a couple of people for making this year successful. First, I'd like to thank my wife, Maureen. As many of you know, Maureen is still working, and she walked away from her duties at the, she didn't walk away, but she got somebody to cover for her. But she went with me on many of our missions, walking through rice paddies in China, going to the wildfire area in Australia, the China earthquake area, and also down to Tennessee to witness the flooding results down there. And Maureen, I'd just like to thank you for walking this journey with me. Thank you very much, Maureen. I'd like to thank the staff at Lions Club International, starting with Rebecca Dow. They have an unbelievable foundation staff here, all there to support you and your efforts in the field. Rebecca, please extend our congratulations and thanks to our wonderful LCIF staff. And most of all, I'd like to thank you, the Lions, who have helped make this possible. LCIF. You have maybe not been there when we installed a clean water supply in India in a school, but you helped install that and made it possible for those children in India in that school to get clean water. You may not have been there to pick up a child off the floor at the orphanage in Burkina Faso, but you were there through your efforts to buy that bassinet that was able to put those children in that situation. You may not have been there when we did the cataract surgeries throughout the world, but you put the scalpel in the knives of the doctors that made those miracles happen. From the bottom of my heart, I would like to thank you for your generosity to continue to support LCIF next year and years to come. And I'd like to thank you all for giving me the honor to be your chairman this year. It has been a privilege and an honor and a situation that I'll never forget. Thank you all.
Your generosity and support ensures that LCIF will be there. Anytime, any place, serving the world, brick by brick, drop by drop, smile after smile.
Thank you, LCIF. LCIF
is our
my foundation.
LCIF is our foundation.
Thank you, immediate President Alan Brandel, Chairperson of the Foundation, for your wonderful presentation. Lions are very proud of what we've accomplished through LCF, and we look forward to continued success. We have come now to a point of a time-honored tradition and our convention, our memorial service. Let us please honor Lions who passed away this year. They really deserve our utmost respect. Some of you may not be aware, but first year rector, Dr. Enrico Cesarotti of Italy, passed away very recently. He really contributed significantly to the restructuring of the world, something that will change the direction of our association for years to come. He was a great leader, he was a wonderful lion, and he was our friend. Please remember his family in your thoughts and prayers. It has been said that music soothes the savage beast. Does that include lions? Seriously, music does calm us, delights us, takes us to new places in our heart and souls. And music, one of those arts that leads us to listen. Otherwise, you can realize. As you know, I love music. And this morning was wonderful piano and dueling. But this year I established the Global Youth Music Competition. It was a dream. I wanted to encourage the talents of young people and give Lions another way to promote the gifts and potential of young people in talking with them and not about them. This year, the chosen instrument was a violin. The competition proved a very, very popular situation. Representatives from each of the 7 constitution areas competed here in Sydney. yesterday. For those of you who were not here and there, let me tell you, it was a memorable occasion. These people may be young, but their talents are major, and the music was simply superb. When you hear young people play like that, you can't help but be optimistic about the future and what young people will bring to the table. Today we have a short video of performances. We'll meet the competitors and then our winner will perform for you. Wasn't that great? This is the earned applause of music competition finalists. The winner of the competition, decided and announced last night, was Brian Allen from the United States of America. Please again, give these young talents a big applause for the reaction. This was really world class what we rehearsed yesterday, and I'm so proud of your thoughts, your inspiration, and your wonderful music. You really touched us. Thank you so much. You all. Brian, we welcome you, and please grace us with your talents. Also, please welcome his accompanying pianist, which is Paul Myers. Wunderbar. Please take my friendly advice and continue to nurture your talent. This will one day a world-class violinist. Give him a big applause. Lion's leadership helps us survive and grow. Leaders bridge the gap between the average and the usual and the extraordinary and the outstanding. We flourish as a service group when Lions step forward and take us to new levels. This year, I established a New Year Ginkgo Award for district governors. To earn the award, the district governors had to increase the average club size between September and December. And I'm happy to report that 25 governors earned this award. Please recognize them as they stand. This year also established the President's Ginkgo Plaque for district governors. District governors had achieved 3 Ginkgo Awards during this year to receive this recognition. First, the Quick Start Ginkgo, to realize the first clubs within the first 2 months, for extending clubs before August of 30. And second, the New Year Ginkgo Award that just heard about. And finally, the Ginkgo Leadership Award, the most important award for meeting several difficult membership criteria from February through May. Each of these awards was not easy to achieve. To achieve all 3 awards was truly a momentous accomplishment for leadership. These district governors have exemplified the move to grow spirit in an outstanding way. Let us honor these district governors who have earned the President's Ginkgo. Please. In District 323G1, Dr. Jawahar Bihani. It is 321 B1 Bhupesh Bansal. And it's please. And it's District 322E, Dr. Nanda Garg. These leaders did not set a sample, did not make an issue for us. They're also exemplifying the leading growth Indian Islami has in the last 3 years worldwide. Thank you. I know I'm proud of all. Past Senate President K.K. Fukushima, Sacramento, California, United States, and chairperson of the nominating committee for the report of his committee.
Mr. President, distinguished officers, board members, Lions and guests, I am pleased and honored as chairman of the nominating committee to present our preliminary report. I was helped in this very difficult task with some distinguished members of our Lions International family, and particularly from Vice Chairperson, past District Governor Udo Ginich, as well as past International Presidents Kajet Hapamananda, past International President Professor Giuseppe Grimaldi, past International President Rohit Mehta, past International Director Stephen D. Shearer, past International Director Manoj Shah, past International Director Paul Fan, past District Governor Joe Silvers. Under the provisions of our international constitution and bylaws and the rules of procedure adopted by this convention, your nominating committee met and examined the records and approved a certified list of candidates for the various offices to be filled at this convention. All of these distinguished line candidates have had the necessary qualifications, and they are indeed qualified and worthy of your consideration. It is my pleasure now to place in nomination the name of a distinguished Lion from Hong Kong, China, Lion Dr. Wing Kun Tam, for the office of First Vice President of Lions Clubs International, and I ask him to rise and be recognized. It is now my privilege on behalf of the nominating committee to place in nomination the names of all of the candidates who have been properly endorsed and certified for the office of International Director. The candidates will be presented from each of the constitutional areas of our association according with their representation entitlement for this year under our international constitution and bylaws. As I call each name, I would like to have each candidate and his or her representative come forward. Under our convention rules of procedure, each candidate for the office of director is entitled to address the convention for 2 minutes, either by candidate or another line or both. And in that connection, I wish to recognize at this time past International President Augustine Soliva and past International Director Bill Crawford, who will serve as our official timekeepers of the nomination. Now, the timekeepers will rise when the speaker has 30 seconds left on his or her allotted 2 minutes. When there are 15 seconds left, they better look for a place to hide. They will come forward and stand by the speaker. The candidates have drawn for the order on the ballot and will be presented to you in that order. First of all, from the area, India, South Asia, Africa, and the Middle East, 2 directors to be elected. The ballot person who's selected to be placed on ballot as #1 candidate is Venkarta Krishna Reddy. Please come forward.
Chairperson, officers and friends, hearing about the candidature of Krishna Reddy will be a great experience. It is amazing a young leader can achieve so much as a lion at the age of 46 before he embarks as an international director. It's rather uncommon. This young lion became a lead gift donor contributing $100,000 to LCIF. Motivated, contribution of 140 Melvin Jones Fellows as a district governor, served as a council chairperson of the largest multiple district in the world, motivated a net growth of 10,288, the highest in the membership in the world when he was council chair. Recipient of Ambassador of Goodwill Award, Krishna Reddy will make an outstanding international director if you elect him. I seek your support to cast your valuable votes in his favor. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Lion KP Harun. Friends, very good morning. My journey as a lion began 15 years ago. Whatever the responsibilities I've taken as a lion, I've done my best and the fullest. This noble organization has given me so much and enriched my life beyond my imagination, and also given me the zeal and passion to serve this organization. Every year, my dear friends, large number of lions join this organization, and also we see the large number of lions leaving this organization. I believe the lack of involvement is the reason, and I would like to advocate the clubs to involve the members at the club level. As a governor and as council chairman, I have seen the strong clubs have something in similarity, that clubs having the permanent projects and signature projects have no retention problem. I would like to promote signature projects at every club, and I seek all your support. My number is 1 in the ballot from Assam area. Thank you very much.
Well, I'm impressed. That was right on the second. Unbelievable. Ballot 2 on that same area is from India. His name is Narendra Santilya Bandare, MD 323. Please come forward.
I have great pleasure in presenting to you, fellow lions, the unanimous Islamic candidate, past council chair, Lion Narendra Bhandari, who started his career as a Leo when he has completed 34 years in the lionism. And today, he is the pioneer of the leadership development programs in our multiple. A passionate lion for the quality service and energetic lion, Narendra Bhandari.
Thank you, Shamji. Galaxy of leadership, ocean of global ambassadors of humanity sitting in front of me, my dear brothers and sisters. Good morning, good day, namaskar, salam alaikum, karibo, jumbo, bonjour. I'm on my feet to seek your blessings, confidence, support, guidance, involvement, and vote for my endeavor to act as and with the global decision makers. I have chosen lionism as a way of life and walk the talk. Duty, dignity, and discipline have been the pillars of my work ethic as team player and leader. These 90 seconds of my life are the most memorable one as I express my gratitude to all the Lions and Lions clubs which contributed to my journey. I have gained a lot from lionism, and now it is my turn to give back. I am fully aware of your dreams, concerns, and aspirations. I have thoroughly studied and observed the functions and role of international director. My family and business responsibilities are well taken care of, and I am all set to take on these responsibilities of the challenging role to serve this great organization and to be your face, your voice and your pride at Oak Group and realize our vision of member-friendly, government-friendly and corporate-friendly Lionism. Thank you, friends. Please vote on the number 2 on the Islamic ballot. Thank you for your blessings and greetings. Thank you, friends.
I want all of you to know we're enjoying it as much as you are. See how close they come. For the South Pacific area, one director to be elected, Edi Benjanarko, Indonesia.
Good morning, Mr. President, distinguished Lions, and all members of the Lions family. It's my pleasure to introduce past Council Chairman Edi Winjanarko from Malabo District 307, Indonesia. He's our candidate for International Director from Constitutional Area 7. Edi is a great Lion and will make a wonderful International Director. Please welcome past Council Chairman Edi Winjanarko.
Thank you, International Director Kenbert. Good morning. It's a great honor for me to be here as your candidate. 26 years experience in Lionism, working hard every year, every day, every moment, continuously, make me ready to accept the challenge. I believe in Lionism. I believe in Lions family. I believe in membership growth with quality members. I believe in leadership, strong leader who will together expand the organization to the next horizon. I believe in social service, good activity, good project with good result. I believe in teamwork. Lions Club International has grown to a stage which requires solid teamwork. We cannot do alone. We cannot work alone. We do it together as a team player. If I was elected, for sure, I will serve with dignity, patience, and commitment. I humbly request your advice, your guidance, your support, and your vote. Thanks. God bless you all.
You must have been listening to the Willem Tell Overture. From Europe, 3 directors to be elected. Janez Borek from Slovenia.
Officers, fellow Lions, it is my honor and pleasure to introduce to you my good friend, past District Governor Janez Borek from Slovenia, as a candidate for International Director. Janez is an outstanding and successful leader, not only in business, but especially in Lionism, and I know he will be a true asset for our association. Janez, please.
Thank you, Ernest, dear President, dear Lions dignitaries, dear fellow Lions. When 20 years ago I joined the first Lions Club in Slovenia, I could not imagine that one day I will be given the opportunity to run for this high office and great responsibility. But new clubs in Slovenia were developed in a very short period of time, which already 50 years ago resulted in a provisional district whose first governor I was. In that time, we Slovenian Lions spread Lionism in many other countries of the Balkan and in Eastern Europe. Besides my family and my successful professional career in business and politics, the work for the Lions Clubs International make my life complete. If I am elected International Director, I am prepared to work globally and assist in the development and success of Lionism wherever the Lions Clubs International leadership will feel my contribution most needed. I assure you that I will devote all my energy and knowledge in further growth and quality development of the Lions Clubs International locally and globally. I will do my best. It's great to be a Lion. Thank you.
Next, we have Gudrun Ingvadóttir, District 109, Iceland.
Dear Lion friends and dears, it's a pleasure for me to introduce to you Guðrún Ingvadóttir. Guðrún is from Iceland, where almost 1% of the nation is a member of Lions. Guðrún is a very active Lion, well known and respected internationally. For the last 10 years, he has been a trainer and presenter at numerous European and international events. Guðrún is a strong and experienced leader, organized and get things done. She will be the first woman from Europe as international director and will be the first Lions in many fields. Because she is creative and focused on the future, I am proud to introduce to you Guðrún Ingvadóttir.
Thank you, Kristen. Executive officers, fellow Lions, leaders, dear friends. It's a great honor to stand here in front of you all, and I'm very proud to be a Lion, to be a member of Lions, the global leader in humanitarian service. And I'm very grateful for the opportunities I've had internationally that have given me a deeper understanding of the challenges our organization is facing. And I'm ready to serve, and I will be listening to you, and I'm excited to be able to have some influence on the development of leadership and membership and service projects. Thank you all.
Third on the ballot for the same area, Europe, is Per Christensen. Please come forward.
Executive officers, dear Lions and Leos, it's my pleasure to announce Per Christensen as one of the ID candidates from the Scandinavian country 2010-2012. Some of Per's human characteristics. Per is a very good friend and a very fine organizer. Per has a good international network. Our group frequently use Per as teacher and lecture at seminars and conventions. For years have given Per a diplomatic experience. Per has the skill to communicate in a manner understood in powerful and suitable Danish, English, German and Swedish. Per has the desire and energy required for teaching.
Executive officers, dear Lions and Leos, it's an honor for me to address you as a candidate for International Director. Our wonderful world changes every day, and the changes mean new challenges for us as a volunteer organization. We have to face these challenges to keep in pace with the communities we serve and support. To do this, the Board of Directors must make decisions, even the unpleasant ones. We must make a change to make us more attractive to the younger generations in order to face the membership challenges, especially in the western part of the world. We must focus on leadership on every level in the organization. Good leadership means good results, and good results lead to good clubs with more members. Leadership is an investment in the future. I'm ready to be a part of it and to serve you and our wonderful organization. Thank you.
Moving right along from the area, Orient Southeast Asia. First on the ballot, Talang Xiang from MD 300, Taiwan.
Good morning, fellow Lions.
On behalf of the Lions of Seal, I second the nomination of past Governor Ta Long Jiang as the candidate for International Director for the term of 2010 to 2012. Past Governor Jiang is not only a doer, but he is also a motivator. I'm very confident with his directorship, he is able to give a lot to this association and to the Lions. For our Lions, Ta Long Jiang is #1 on the ballot.
Dear Chief Delegate and fellow Lions, good morning. I'm honored and pleased to be endorsed by all Lions from MD300 Taiwan unanimously as a candidate for International Director. I hope to your help and support to be elected as the International Director. I will do my best to promote Lionism around the world and to support our international president to fulfill his duty with my best ability. Finally, welcome to Taiwan and join us for the 54th and Ocean Forum this November. Thank you, and best wishes to all fellow Lions.
Second on the ballot is Seiki Yamaura from MD330, Japan.
Ohayou gozaimasu, fellow Lion from all over the world. I'm so excited and I'm proud of introduce Mr. Seiki Yamaura from Japan. He's a very good standing Lion for 38 years. And so he had a very good best award from International Lion Club Ambassador of Will, Goodwill of Ambassador. And now look at his chest. He had 100 well-window feathered badge on his chest. Mr. Yamada, I'm introduced Mr. Yamada.
Good morning, fellow Lions and ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished director. My name is Seiki Yamada. I come from Tokyo, MD308 in Japan. I'm a member of Tokyo Shinjuku Lion Club and candidate for International Director between 2010 and 2012. I was formally recommended as a representative of ocean of 17 countries. I feel pride and pleasure standing here in front of you. Thank you, everybody. I promise if I will be elected International Director, I will do my best to spread Lionism spirit and the LCI mind to present love and peace to the people all over the world. And of course, I will be International Director. Sorry. Okay. Finally, I'd like to say I'm so glad to spend wonderful time with you at this international convention. Thank you very much.
Y'all have to understand, Japanese 2 minutes is a little bit longer. Skosh.